Hello, Sarah. I'd love to talk today a bit about 30 Days Wild, your connection to nature, and the Suffolk Wildlife Trust. You are the head of engagement at the Suffolk Wildlife Trust, and I'd love to hear why is 30 Days Wild important?
So 30 Days Wild is the Wildlife Trust's annual challenge event that takes place in June. So what we ask people to do is to do something wild every day during the month of June. So hence 30 days. And actually this year is 10 years of 30 Days Wild. It's the 10-year anniversary. And the reason it's important is it really gives people an opportunity to get engaged in nature, whether that's the first time, whether it's something that they don't normally do or something that they are in the habit of doing, but really to make that a habit during June. And I think one of the real strengths of 30 Days Wild is that it's so accessible. So people who take part in 30 Days Wild can choose what they do every day. So when we say that it's a challenge, the challenge is finding the time to do something every day in June. There are no set challenges. If you take part in 30 Days Wild, you can choose something very simple to do, or you can do something a bit more complicated, or that requires more time or effort, depending on what you can do at the time. So it's a really easy way to introduce nature into your life in June, and then hopefully continue with that as we come out of June. You can find out more information about it on our website and also on the Wildlife Trust's website. And what you can do is you can sign up for a free pack. So even though we're coming up to, we're midway through June, it's not too late to sign up for that pack. And that pack gives you lots of really easy ideas of things you can do during June. So if you're feeling a little bit stumped for ideas, there are ideas in that pack, and a wall planner to help you keep track of your progress. You can do it wherever you are. So you can do it either on your own, you can do it as part of a family, you can do it at school. We have lots of classes sign up to do it. You can do it as part of a business, you can do it as a care home, and there are different packs for those different groups. Research has shown that people who do take part in 30 Days Wild show an increase in their nature connection. And again, we know from the research that people who are more connected to nature are more likely to go on and do something for nature. So we know that in order to enable nature to recover at the scale we need it to, and at the pace we need it to, we need more people taking action for nature. And that can be where they live, where they learn, where they work, where they play. And so we know that people who are more connected to nature are more likely to do something for nature. That people show health and well-being benefits, they're happier, because also at the end of the day, it's a really fun thing to get involved in. And what we hope is that people will continue with that beyond June. There's a really good book called 365 Days Wild by Lucy McRobert. So people who have felt really inspired and excited by 30 Days Wild can continue with that throughout the year, and there's ideas to help them get started.
Thank you, and I really love what you say about it being accessible, and that it engages more people, because overall we do need more people to be engaged in the environmental sector. What does the Suffolk Wildlife Trust offer for people wanting to connect to nature?
So I think most importantly, all our nature reserves are free to visit. So they're free for everybody. Of course, we'd be absolutely delighted if people wanted to join as members, but you don't need to be a member to visit our reserves. And like I say, they're free to visit. So you can visit our website, and that will give you an overview of our nature reserves and what you can expect to see at those reserves. We have a programme of events and activities. So again, if you visit our website and you click on the What's On drop down, you can find a whole host of things that we are facilitating across the county. It can be things like Wild Tots events for preschool aged children and their parents and carers. They happen at our centres. There are events for families. We have a range of adult learning courses. Now, they might be craft courses, but they might also be wildlife photography courses. There might be courses in wildlife gardening or species ID, or how to create a mini meadow in your patch. There are courses that are aimed at community groups who've got responsibility for a patch of land. We have an accredited training programme. There are also things like wild cocktail events in the parks in Ipswich. We have breakfast business, what we call networking events, so where local businesses can come together for breakfast and a walk at one of our sites, and a whole programme of walks and talks. So there's all of those opportunities, things that people can take part in. Most of them are bookable, some of them are drop-ins. Also on our website, you can find details of volunteering opportunities. So again, there's opportunities for young people, like our young wardens events at our reserves, where young people who are aged 11 to 16 can do practical conservation. But there's also volunteering sort of as and when to fit round the time that people have available. We're also posting on our social media the things that we as a trust are doing during June, and hopefully that will give people some ideas of things that they can do. And we'd love it if people would share the things that they're doing for 30 Days Wild, and also to follow us year round, to keep up to date with what the trust is doing. And again, opportunities to get involved. On our website, we've got lots of advice and information about things that people can do to take action where they live. So do go to our visitor centres, talk to our staff, talk to our volunteers, and find out what's on offer.
What is your personal connection to nature working with the Suffolk Wildlife Trust?
So I grew up fascinated by nature. I'm not from Suffolk. I grew up in Surrey, but what I loved doing, I just like to be in nature and learning about nature, and actually learning what things were. So I used to go out with my Usborne Spotter's Guide, or my Usborne Book to the Countryside, or my I Spy books, and just be out and about, trying to find out what things were, really. And so since then, obviously I've been lucky enough to have a career in nature conservation. I'm not an expert naturalist. What I'm really passionate about is everyday nature. So things like the wildflowers that you might see on your way to school, or the certainly where I live, the goldfinches that feed on the seed heads in our front garden. We're lucky enough to have swifts that nest in our roof space. So I look forward all year to the swifts coming back in May, and then hearing them scream across the house, but also coming in under the eaves to nest in the roof. So it's everyday nature that I get really excited about, and also about sharing that with others. So it's really why I've built my career through working on the engagement side of the trust, and looking at how we share that joy of nature with people. How do we encourage people to become more connected to nature, and actually how we, like we spoke about earlier, how we take that next step, how we help people to take that next step of having that love of nature, but then wanting to do something to protect it. So that's where I come from as far as my job with the trust is. Personally, nature is somewhere where I recharge my batteries. It's where I get that that sort of breathing space. I think, going back to what we were saying about 30 Days Wild, some of those ideas can be very, very simple and just be about being in nature. So some of the ideas in the pack that you can download talk about looking at the clouds, looking at the sky, taking your shoes off, feeling the grass beneath your feet, or the sand beneath your feet. For me, nature is somewhere to be and get that sense of calm, I suppose.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And I think it's cool to hear how you went in from being inspired and like finding joy in nature to going into Suffolk Wildlife Trust. And I think that's really cool. So thank you for your time. And yeah, thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.